Welcome back to Developing Designers. Our guest today is Ellie Eichhorn, an architecture student at North Dakota State University, and her experience is getting into the architecture field, transitioning to an architecture practice, architect in training, and a lot of questions in between. Stay tuned. This morning's guest is Ellie. She is an architect intern, still in school. Today we are going to be talking about basically the school to professional, that transition and your experiences, how you got into architecture, all that. So let's get into it.
All right.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up here in Fargo.
Fargo.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Born and raised.
100,000 people roughly.
Yeah. 100,
Yep.
120.
So you were in town.
Yep.
Town person. Okay. What started you thinking about architecture or a career path?
It's really funny. Like, I took one of those like career surveys in 6th grade that they like
Sixth
make
grade.
you take
Okay.
to like get a general idea. And this was actually one of the careers that like popped up, and I
Really?
started researching it and like looking into it, and I was like, that's actually pretty cool because I like to draw, and I also kind of like the math and more sciencey side of stuff, and it kind of just felt like a good fit. Plus, I loved Legos, so that's always a
Yes.
kind of gets
yes.
people into it.
Legos, Lincoln Logs.
Yep.
Erector
Both
set.
of those.
Yes.
Yes.
That's almost a must connection, a pre-connection.
For sure.
When they defined, can you remember in that 6th grade what they defined architecture as or this field?
Not like specifically, but I think it almost had like kind of subsections or terms that would kind of like fit into it. And it was like, if you like art, if you like to draw, if you're detail oriented, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
it kind of seems like a
Something
good fit.
you like, something
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
Were you doodling or sketching at the
Yeah.
time?
I loved to paint growing up.
Paint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paint and doodle, sketch, all kinds of stuff.
What would
That
you
was-
draw?
Mostly cartoon characters.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah.
It was ninjas for me. It was the 80s.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. All right.
Yep. Okay, so when you told your parents or your family that this was sort of what you were thinking, how did they respond? What was their reaction?
My mom like didn't really have one. She was just like, "Oh, that's cool." Like she just thought it was interesting. My dad's first reaction was, "Oh, like Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother," and I said, "Sure." Yeah, I had never
Okay.
seen the show, so at the time I was like, "If that's what he does, I guess."
Okay. What, if I may ask, what were their professions that would either relate to it or not to relate to it? Or
They both like definitely did not. My mom worked at Bell Bank. She was
Okay.
just like a back house personal banker.
numbers, data?
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess that part. And then my dad worked at a grocery store. He was the manager of like kind of the pricing department. So I guess more
Okay.
numbers, details, stuff like that. So
Okay.
that fits into it. But
Okay.
the more artistic side, they always question where I got that from.
Oh, any engineers or architects in the family?
My brother's a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
Yep. But aside from that, no, we are the first
Okay.
kind of two in this profession.
Yeah. So how does your conversations go, or where is he at in his career path?
He is a full-time engineer, and so we kind of talk about some of the stuff that the engineers here do, like, because it's so different, because they mostly, kind of work on HVAC and stuff, and he's working on small, tiny parts for sprayers up at John Deere. So it's like kind of seeing how
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
the world of engineering is kind of what we talk about.
Yeah. Okay. So how did you choose NDSU? Obviously, it's Fargo.
Yep.
North Dakota State University's in Fargo.
Yep.
But how did you arrive there?
Yeah, it was mostly kind of a money thing.
Okay.
My parents live in town. I was very grateful that they let me stay during college. So that was kind of like a saving money, didn't have to move to the dorms. And also a lot of my friends from high school went to NDSU. So it was like I kind of already knew a lot of people. It was, again, I've lived here forever, so I know the community, and it just kind of felt like
Sure.
perfect choice.
Okay.
And everyone always raves about NDSU's architecture program, saying it's pretty good. So I was like, all right.
How many years is it roughly?
The program?
Yeah.
5 years.
5 years.
Yep.
And you are in your,
5th year?
okay, so your final thesis for your master's of architecture.
Yep.
As you then looked into more detail, was that overwhelming or did that excite you even more because you liked that detail?
I think it's kind of both. It definitely
Okay.
excites me because I like the small things. But then also at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, that many small little things make up a huge building. You got to make sure you get it all, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of both.
Okay. Any favorite school project you've had so far?
I think my favorite one was a library that I got to design when I was in my third year of college.
Okay.
Because I really kind of dove into like ADA and like making it accessible. We designed a library for Painesville, Minnesota, and they currently have one that's like not fitting their needs, like especially in the realm of like ADA.
Sure.
And so like I really dove into that, and I
Yeah.
thought that it was super cool, like how different it is and like how, you know, different fixtures are smaller or wider, different things. I thought it was really cool, like diving into that. So
One of the neat things about architecture school is they use real life examples
Yeah.
and locations and buildings. Yeah, which really kind of brings it home. And I think another nice thing about NDSU is they bring practitioners in,
Yeah.
so it's not just academia
Yeah.
and concepts, it's people who've lived that real world. Yeah, you'd agree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Project types, do you have some that you lean towards already? Or if not, what's your thesis about?
I don't know if there's any I like for sure like over another one. I think every project type I've got to do, I always find a way to like really dive into it and like love
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
But my thesis is actually on transitional housing for the homeless population in Fargo.
Okay.
Kind of with a focus on education and rehabilitation and job skills and stuff like that.
Right,
So
not just a house.
yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
dealing with the whole person. Okay.
yeah, for
great,
sure.
Great.
Yeah.
And we're about as we're filming here, you're about halfway through your senior year or
Yep.
your thesis. So how is that going?
It's going good. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more. I know we've talked about it, like writing, than I thought it would be. Like I thought it would be a little more project based, but we're gonna get into that eventually. So it's going good. It's
Yeah, this is the
a
second half.
Yeah, it's a slow, steady process, but
Sure.
it's going.
Good. Speaking of that, time management, we mentioned it this morning.
Yeah.
How has your time management been, or have you noticed that you're great at it or could improve, or talk about time management in architecture?
Yeah, I like have always kind of, I think, been pretty good at it. I've been very like against the whole notion of like you need to have all-nighters or pull all-nighters to complete the architecture program. You definitely don't, because I have pulled very few and I have got where I am.
Okay, so let me stop you there.
Yes.
That is the culture.
It is.
And how many in your class are doing that?
Pulling all-nighters? A lot of people.
Would you say
75% probably, 80%. Yeah.
so? What about the people that aren't?
Here, I guess I want to reframe that. It's not that they have poor time management. It's that I guess they just choose to do it, I guess, maybe at that time, where I like to prioritize my sleep. So I'm like, I will do it all in the morning if I have to and get it done so I don't have to stay up all night.
I think this is another podcast that we should have.
Yeah.
However, I think the creatives, and I use makers, artists, musicians, creatives tend to have that ADHD and time management issues. And that doesn't mean you don't have any issues there, but you're disciplined, where I think the others maybe need more external motivation. I love this whole area of talk.
Oh, yeah.
The hyper focus and getting in the flow and all things
Yeah.
like that. We'll do that at another time because it's a fascinating thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So you were one of those. I was an all-nighter person. I had very poor time management. It was the deadline that forced me to. But you're part of the crew,
Oh, yeah.
part of the group. Well, that's good to know. I think it's a little less stressful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, to be more self-disciplined and healthy life choices and boundaries. Okay, so as you've started this internship, which was this summer, so about 6 months ago,
Yeah.
let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What's your experience been?
It's been really good. It's been something very different from what I did before. Before this, I worked at a grocery store, and then I worked for the Fargo Parks Department.
Okay.
And it was very like structured. You kind of did a lot of the same stuff, like the grocery store, make sure the shelves are filled, help the customers. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
And then the parks, like it's kind of a lot of the same projects based on
Okay.
the season and stuff.
Okay. Were they tasks that just simply do this, or did you have to fill in sort of somehow?
It was mostly tasks like
Okay.
just do this, like go just do that.
I don't mean mindless, but
Yeah, no,
You
but
know.
a lot of them kind of were.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that this is so much different where every day I come in and it's like I could be doing something completely different from what I did yesterday. And I kind of like that because I like doing different things and trying different things, learning a lot. So, yeah, it's been really, really cool.
some say we're problem solvers. Like that's sort of what we do day in, day out. It just depends on what problem we're trying to solve. Would you agree with that, and maybe give an example?
Yeah, I think we're problem solvers. I think in the world of architecture, we get a problem or something that needs to be solved, and then we do it, you know? An example that I have,
What are you working on today?
today I was working on red lines
Okay.
on a project, so fixing up some little details in construction documents to clean them up a bit.
Were they literal or were they directive? So a red line says, put this note here and type this, or does it say, work out this detail?
Oh no, they were
Interpolating.
literal. Yeah,
Okay.
it was like delete that, add that, do
Yep.
this. I was like, okay.
Yep.
So
Well, that's intern
part of it.
type level. You know, the next step is more directive. But okay. But you still have to open up the program, and I mean, there's still a lot of things that go between that point and point
Yeah.
B. Yeah. Things that maybe surprised you that, again, you would expect that maybe were different from school to, say, our environment or our culture.
Something that surprised me, I think, I have a couple things. I think first here is kind of how, like, chill the environment is. Like, I don't know what I was expecting coming into, like, the profession, but,
Sure.
like, I wasn't expecting a place that's very calm. And yes, we have a lot to do. It's not saying it's not crazy at times, but it's, you know, like, it's very chill.
You felt you'd be scurrying around.
Honestly,
Kinda like
yeah.
Hollywood sort of paints
Yeah,
out.
kinda, yeah.
Like, yeah, people rushing around.
Like
and-
the intern, they're throwing stuff on your desk, get that
Yeah.
done, go do that. Like,
Yep.
I was like very surprised at that. And
Mm-hmm.
then again, like, I was also surprised just like the kind of stuff that I've been doing. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what to expect, but I've been traveling to sites to go
Mm.
do site visits out in Bismarck and Jamestown and Crookston and all stuff that I didn't like expect that I would be doing. So
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of a shock.
Yeah. One of the things that we're trying to do is saturate interns and kind of get you to see a little everything, like meetings, meeting minutes,
Yep.
construction sites, things like that. It sounds like you're enjoying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Name maybe an oh crap moment that somebody, well, I'm going to leave it there.
An oh crap moment was like one of my first days. They asked me to start doing some renders in Twinmotion, and I had never used Twinmotion in my life.
Okay.
I had never even opened the program, and so I was like, oh,
Have you used other rendering programs?
yeah. I used like Lumion and some other ones, but I actually kind of starting in my third year started going like more of like the artistic route of renders, like not so much realistic. I delved into like doing a lot of Photoshop and like design like that collage more renders. So I kind of had lost a little bit of my skill in the more
Okay.
realistic side of renders.
Okay.
So I had to get that back and
Yeah.
learn how to use a whole new program to do.
So how'd you
renders.
dive in?
I just started watching YouTube videos, honestly.
Excellent.
Sitting at my YouTube university.
Yep,
Sitting at my
absolutely.
desk, I downloaded Twinmotion, opened it, and I was just like, all right, I got to do renders. I got to learn this, so
Yeah.
let's go.
Yep. Well, and kudos to you because you dove in and you're like, well, I don't really want to ask for help. I want to see if I can do it first. And certainly we have people to help, but that takes time and all that.
I
so-
did ask for help too, I will
Okay.
say.
Yep.
Reached out and I was like, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to add a material in there? So it wasn't just me. I did
Yeah.
get help too.
A lot of learn by doing.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of learn by doing. And then you add your own thumbprint, I should say, your own style eventually. Describe sort of like the teaching methods of university and then maybe some of your mentors here in our office and maybe some contrasts or
Yeah.
The extremes.
Yeah, I think NDSU really pushes kind of like how you develop your designs. They're very like design based. It's like develop a party, design it, go from there. And we don't really like hone in on a lot of the details. We did in the beginning, like, because we were doing a lot of hand drawing, so like you kind of had to. But once we've gotten further, like honestly, I feel like we've done less of the details. We're here, that's a lot more of what I've been doing, like is more of those details and very fine items. So it's kind of like a complete contrast to what I've been doing in school, because they focus really, like I said, on big picture, you know, things. Like my capstone project was this like 7-story mixed use design, but in reality I only showed 1 floor in my final boards. So it wasn't like, it's just kind of high level. You know, we're here, it's a lot more nitpicky small things.
Yeah, that's been pretty consistent through the decades, that they say we're here to teach you how to design. And then they've told us that it's a master and apprenticeship type career, so that at some point they got to let you go. And then, you know, the next step is sort of like apprentice under a master, you know, who's, okay, how do we turn that idea into reality and, you know, detail it and whatnot.
For sure.
So, yeah, interesting. Okay, so big picture ideas in university. Let's talk about, well, somebody like TJ, or who's been some of the architects you work for? And since we haven't interviewed TJ yet, but maybe describe maybe some of the architects that you've worked with and what they've had you done and how are teaching you.
Yeah, like the two I've worked with the most have been Whitney and TJ.
Okay.
Whitney, I think, has done a really good job getting me into like a whole bunch of different things. Like if there's a task that she needs help with, she'll ask me to do it. And she's always like, if you can't figure it out, don't worry, just do what you can. And so she's been really good with that. TJ has also been really great. I've been doing a lot of more, I don't want to say clerical, but like I did all like the SMP square footage calculations for him, where I was just kind of adding up square footages, making sure things got in line. And
so this is long-term care nursing.
Yeah.
And the state, they get funding based on the different project types and beds and stuff
and the
like
square
that.
footage. Yeah.
So every once in a while they have to describe what you were supposed to do for them.
Yeah, I had to calculate where all of their square footage goes, whether it's resident, kitchen, dining, activity, storage, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was that was like the biggest project that I've done.
And they had multiple facilities across the state?
Yeah, we did 5 facilities, 5 or 6, I can't remember.
So it was a list of each facility and then the breakdown of that within that facility.
Yeah.
Did you find that interesting? Or?
I did, because it was just kind of something, and again, I don't want to say mindless, because it's like important work and it's stuff we have to do, but I just got to sit at my desk and add stuff up, and it was a chill gig to do for a little bit. So.
Let's see here. I remember you helping on a church.
Oh yeah, Harvest.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, Harvest Church was a church there, or where they are currently wanting to do an expansion. So I worked with TJ and Izzy, who's one of the other project.
Okay. Whitney is a recent architect, licensed architect. TJ is a senior architect, and Izzy is a 1 or 2 year grad. Out of school. Okay.
Yeah. So I worked with Izzy and TJ, and we went to Crookston. We met with the church. We had a few meetings there, and we put together a whole bunch of different iterations for them of things they could do within their budget, things they could do a little bit higher than their budget or less than their budget. So it was a lot of different iterations of design and working through stuff.
Here's what your entire wish list shows.
Yeah.
Doesn't meet your budget. Here's what we think will meet your budget.
Yeah.
And here's maybe a compromise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty standard, I think, for architectural sort of dream stage or master plan type stuff. So what part did you play then?
I worked a lot with kind of the design iterations with Izzy. TJ would kind of give us a few of his ideas and then send us off, and we would work together and come up kind of with a new iteration or design, and we'd bring it back to him, and he would redline it, say, no on that, yes on that, and we'd go back and edit it again. And yeah, so I did a lot of that. And then again, kind of more like we did a fundraising booklet for them, so kind of putting that together, laying that out were kind of the biggest things that I did.
Did you go to some of the client meetings?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
I went to, I think they had 4, and I went to 2 or 3 of them. I can't remember.
Describe that.
It was cool.
Your very first client meeting, you're like, I'm in this.
Yeah.
Describe that a little bit.
It was cool. Like, I really liked the people. They were really nice, which also was hard because then it's like I want to design and give them the world, but I can't, like I'm not an architect, so
Do we please them, or are we the doctor that has to give them the shot? You're like,
exactly.
This is gonna hurt.
Yeah. So it was cool to go out and get to do that instead of like having no name to the face. I get emails from these people like, change this, and I'm like, I don't know who you are, but it was nice to meet them. And
I feel like you've had a good sort of saturation.
Yeah.
Have you? And are there areas that you still have 6 months before you graduate? Any other areas that
I don't know. I don't think so. I think I've really got a taste of a lot.
Good.
Like, obviously, that doesn't mean that I know everything. I have a ton of learning to do, and that doesn't stop when I graduate.
It never stops.
Never stops.
I'm still learning too.
But I think like some of the basics and things that maybe TJ or Hunter or Chase do when you graduate, I've kind of gotten into some of that and kind of see what the future could be like once school's done.
Yeah. Parting thoughts. What are some advice that you would have for students, or let's say high schoolers considering?
Okay.
And then also college going in the architecture field. What are some advice that you would have for them?
Some advice. High school, that time management will be your best friend. Like, I feel like where I guess got lucky, or what made my situation work, is I always worked in the morning. My park job was at 6 a.m.
You're a morning person.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd get done with work and I would have a couple hours before class, so I would just work on stuff then. So again, like that's my situation. I got a bit lucky in that regard, but time management will be your friend. It's a hard skill to develop. My first year of college, I definitely feel like I didn't have it, but if you want to succeed and get through it, not saying you won't if you don't have it, but it'll definitely aid and help it be a bit easier.
Okay.
In college, coming into the profession, my biggest advice is don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yes.
Yeah, that like...
You cannot ask enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like there have been times working here where I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'll just flip my chair around and go to Whitney, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help me? So, like, don't be afraid. They're not going to think you're dumb. Like, I'm new to this. You guys know that I'm new to this. I'm going to have a lot of questions. And that pertains to school as well. Your professors are there to help you. So ask questions.
That was one of my biggest regrets. I didn't want to feel stupid, so I didn't ask, and I regret that. And same thing when I was with my internship, didn't realize that they wanted us to be asking questions, and they were expecting. So it's like, we know you know nothing, so if you're not asking, we know what you struggle with.
Yeah.
It's personal pride, but
I think with school too, it's not just your professors. Like, don't be afraid to ask your classmates questions too. I've made so many friends in college going up and being like, can you look at my design?
Yes.
What do you think? Give me ideas. And my cohort or my group, we've all gotten really close because of that. Like every year after the semester's done, we all like have a party, like all 60 of us. Like we're all really close because we did that. Like I can walk up to almost any one of them and be like, I'm struggling, can you help me? And I've gotten some really good tips because of it. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions and reach out.
That is complete opposite. By the time we were done with ours, we weren't talking to each other because it was so competitive in our class. And who knows why that was. Interesting dynamic. But Ellie, I have so many more questions, as I always do. And another podcast idea is night person versus a morning person.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah. I happen to be a night person, so my circadian rhythm's different, but both fit into architecture and that. So Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
We really look forward to having you back probably in a year or so and see how it's going, and obviously more questions. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
And thanks, everybody.